Welcome back to another fabulous government video. Today we're going to be looking at the organization of the Constitution. Can you believe it? We finally get to get into the Constitution. I'm so excited. So first thing we need to look at, the Constitution is organized into three different sections. The first section is the preamble. And the preamble is where our founding fathers kind of like introduce the document, why we are having this Constitution, what they hope to accomplish by creating it. The second section down here, this is the articles. This is kind of like the meat of the Constitution, okay? This is the section where our founding fathers specifically spell out, okay, this is Article 1. This establishes the legislative branch. This is Article 2. This establishes the executive branch. And then it goes into what each branch can do and what they can't do. And we'll deep dive into that here in just a minute. The third section is the amendments. And an amendment in general, if we're just talking about an amendment to something, is a change or an addition. Okay. So in our Constitution, all of our amendments are changes or additions to the Constitution. So there are 27 amendments, and the first 10 are known as the Bill of Rights. Remember those two things, and you'll be good to go. So diving into Article 1. So Article 1 establishes the legislative branch. This is the group, or this is the section that establishes Congress, okay? Now, if you remember, Congress is a bicameral legislature, which means it has two different houses, okay? So in order to become a member of what's known as the upper chamber, the Senate, you have to be at least 30 years old. You have to live in the state that you're going to represent, and you have to have been a citizen for at least 9 years, okay? In order to be a member of the House of Representatives, you have to be at least 25 years old. You have to live in the district you're going to represent, so that chunk of the state that you're going to represent, and you have to have been a citizen for at least 7 years. Okay, so the requirements are a little lower to be a member of the House of Representatives. So in Article 2, Article 1 of the Constitution, we have a few different clauses that deal specifically with what Congress can do and what Congress can't do. Okay, so the elastic clause is one of the most important clauses in Article 1, and we'll dive more into this later on. But the elastic clause is also known as the necessary and proper clause, and it's at the very end of the list of things that Congress can do. And this clause is important because it allows Congress to make any law that they think is necessary and proper. Okay, so it's kind of like the disclaimer clause, that just in case our founding fathers didn't think of a specific thing that Congress can do, they plugged this clause in there to say they can probably still do it. Okay, so we call it the elastic clause because it stretches the power of Congress. So it's like a piece of rubber or elastic, something like that. We also have specific expressed powers in the Constitution. And if something is expressed, that means it's written down, okay? So an expressed power of Congress can be found in Article 1, Section 8, clauses 1 through 18, okay? So Article 1, Section 8, clauses 1 through 18 lists the specific things that Congress can do. So for example, Congress has the authority to coin money or make money. That's an expressed power of Congress. Okay, Congress has the authority to raise an army and a navy, so to raise a military to defend our country. Okay, those are some things that Congress can do. All right, and before we get to the executive branch, I will stop with this video. If you have any questions, let me know.